Hi everyone. In this demo, we are going to create a welt seam. So I have two sides to the seam. It says a right and wrong side. The right side is marked with the lines. The wrong side has nothing. And then I have a 2-inch wide bias strip. Okay. If you need to know how to find bias and cut bias, there's a link in the section below, and you click on that. And there's a video that shows how to do that. All right, now this bias strip could be wider, it could be smaller if you wanted, but I find 2 inches works pretty well. All right, so the first thing we need to do is prepare our bias strip. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our bias strip. This is the right side with the lines, and there's my wrong side. And we're going to fold it in half lengthwise and press it. And I'm just lining up the two cut edges. And you want to be careful not to pull on your bias as you press it, because you'll stretch it. Bias is very easy to manipulate, and it can be stretched and bent very easily, so be careful when you're pressing it not to pull on it. Alright, there it is, pressed in half. Now what we're going to do is this is going to be sewn into the seam allowance. Alright, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to go ahead and lay it on, lining up the cut edges of my bias strip with the cut edge of my garment here. And I'm going to sew this on at a 1/2 inch. So let's go ahead to the sewing machine and do that. Alright, we're at the sewing machine now. Let's go ahead and stitch this on. Again, I'm lining up the two cut edges of my folded over bias strip with the cut edge of this panel. And stitch it on at a 1/2 inch, and this is permanent, so I'm going to lock it in, back tack my stitches at the beginning and end. Here we go. And there we are. Okay, and cut off this extra right here and right here. Don't need that. And there it is, sewn on. Okay. Now we're going to take the other side. All right. So here's our other one, and we're going to put right sides together, lining up our cut edges, sandwiching that bias strip right in between them, like so. Okay. And we're going to sew that on at a 1/2 inch as well. And here we go. Back tack beginning and end, because this is permanent. There we are. Okay, and there's our bias strip sandwiched in between. All right, creating a welt for the welt seam. All right, let's go back to the ironing board. Okay, so let's give this a quick press. Now, usually you press it to one side. Okay, so this is the side I want it to go to, the side it's laying. And I'm just going to press open that seam allowance, nice and flat. You could press the seam allowance to the opposite side if you wanted to. I like to press mine open. Okay. Alright, and there is the welt seam. And there's the welt of the seam. Okay? Can be a nice little detail in your seam allowances. Alright? And that's the welt seam.